What really happened to your favorite stars? Are dark secrets hidden behind their tragic ends? Number 15, Aaliyah, a music industry sacrifice. Was Aaliyah's death more than just a plane crash? The beloved R&B singer died in 2001 when her overloaded aircraft crashed shortly after takeoff in the Bahamas. She was only 22. But some fans believe something more sinister was at play. Conspiracy theorists point to the plane's excessive weight, the pilot's alleged cocaine and alcohol use, and the record company's pressure to travel despite safety concerns. Some even suggest the tragedy was orchestrated as an industry sacrifice to boost record sales. What makes these theories persist is the combination of Aaliyah's rising star status, her controversial marriage to R. Kelly when she was just 15, and her eerie premonitions about not wanting to board that particular plane. The crash investigation did reveal negligence. The aircraft was overloaded by hundreds of pounds, and the pilot wasn't authorized to fly it. But was it just a terrible accident or something more? The questions linger decades later, especially among fans who note how her style and sound continue to influence music today, as if she never truly left. Number 14, Bruce Lee, killed by traditional medicine or something worse. Could a headache medication have killed the greatest martial arts icon in history? Bruce Lee's sudden death in 1973, at age 32, shocked the world. The official cause was cerebral edema, brain swelling, reportedly triggered by an allergic reaction to a headache medication. But numerous alternative theories exist. Some claim Lee was poisoned by a jealous Hong Kong martial arts community resentful of his sharing sacred techniques with Westerners. Others suggest he fell victim to the dim mak, the legendary death touch that causes delayed fatality. Then there's the theory involving organized crime connections that didn't appreciate his refusal to work with them. The most persistent theory involves a family curse, seemingly validated when his son Brandon also died under mysterious circumstances on a film set 20 years later. Medical experts have recently proposed that Bruce Lee may have died from drinking too much water, causing hyponatremia, but this explanation came decades after his death. The mystery deepens when you consider Lee's peak physical condition and the suspicious circumstances surrounding his earlier collapse months before his death. Whatever happened, Bruce Lee's legend only grew stronger in death, transforming him from movie star to immortal cultural icon. Number 13, Bob Marley. Did the CIA assassinate reggae's revolutionary voice? Did a gift of boots hide a deadly weapon? Bob Marley died from melanoma in 1981 at just 36, but questions surround how the cancer originated and spread. According to conspiracy theories, the CIA targeted Marley for his growing political influence in Jamaica and anti-establishment messages. Theorists point to a pair of boots given to Marley by Carl Colby, son of former CIA Director William Colby. Supposedly, a copper wire coated with carcinogenic material was hidden inside, piercing Marley's toe when he tried them on. When Marley developed cancer in that exact toe, suspicions grew. The political climate adds credibility. Jamaica was in Cold War turmoil, with the CIA actively working to prevent socialist influences in the Caribbean. Marley had survived an assassination attempt in 1976 when gunmen stormed his home. Medical experts counter that melanoma naturally occurs in extremities for people with darker skin tones, and Marley's refusal of amputation due to his Rastafarian beliefs allowed the cancer to spread. Yet the timing of his illness, during his peak influence on Jamaican politics and global consciousness, keeps these theories alive among those who see him not just as a musician but as a revolutionary silenced before his mission was complete. Number 12, Brittany Murphy, toxic mold or Hollywood foul play. How did a healthy 32-year-old actress collapse in her shower? Brittany Murphy's 2009 death was attributed to pneumonia, anemia, and prescription drug intoxication, but many find this explanation too convenient. The mystery deepened when her husband, Simon Monjack, died just 5 months later with nearly identical causes. Their shared home on Mulholland Drive, previously owned by Britney Spears, became the center of toxic mold theories. Others point to Murphy's dramatic weight loss and rumors of substance abuse. The most sensational theory came from Murphy's father, who claimed hair tests showed toxic heavy metals in her system, suggesting deliberate poisoning. Some connect her death to her support of whistleblower Julia Davis, who exposed Homeland Security vulnerabilities. Davis herself claimed the government harassed Murphy and Monjack. Adding fuel was Murphy's mother's strange behavior afterward, sharing a bed with Monjack after Brittany's death. The Los Angeles County coroner dismissed poisoning theories, but never tested for toxic mold. Murphy's final film, Something Wicked, was released 5 years after her death, showing a talented actress who many believe was on the verge of a comeback before something or someone stopped her rising star permanently. Number 11, Anna Nicole Smith, who benefited from her death. Was a former Playboy model's death more calculated than chaotic? Anna Nicole Smith died in 2007 from a prescription drug overdose, but the circumstances surrounding her death raised eyebrows. Just months earlier, her 20-year-old son Daniel died mysteriously while visiting her after she gave birth to daughter Danilyn. Some theorists believe both deaths were orchestrated by those who stood to gain from Smith's potential inheritance from her elderly billionaire husband J. Howard Marshall. The timing seemed suspicious. Smith died before the inheritance battle was resolved. Her lawyer and companion Howard K. Stern was heavily scrutinized, with some believing he facilitated her drug addiction. Others point to the paternity controversy over Danilyn, which was settled by DNA testing that proved photographer Larry Birkhead was the father, not Stern. The fact that multiple doctors prescribed her excessive medications without proper communication fueled theories of deliberate medical negligence. Smith's slurred speech and erratic behavior on her reality show suggested she was being manipulated while impaired. Though investigations led to charges against doctors and Stern for conspiracy to provide drugs later dismissed, questions remain about whether her death was an accident, the result of enablers who didn't have her best interests at heart, or something more sinister involving the millions at stake in her legal battles. Number 10, Michael Jackson. Did the king of pop fake his death? Is Michael Jackson still alive, hidden from the public eye? Since his 2009 death, conspiracy theories have flourished. Some fans claim to have spotted him in the background of his daughter Paris's selfies. Others point to his ambulance footage, suggesting the body being transported wasn't his. The Michael is alive theory gained traction when CNN allegedly showed him exiting a coroner's van. Then there's the darker theory that powerful figures in the music industry orchestrated his death. Proponents point to Jackson's statements about being threatened by Sony executives and his plans to expose industry corruption. The astronomical debts he faced before death and the massive financial success afterward fuel speculation that his death served someone's interests. Questions about his personal physician Conrad Murray's qualifications and the unusual propofol treatment at home have never been fully resolved in some minds. Perhaps most persistent is the theory that Jackson, tired of fame's pressures, orchestrated his own disappearance. Believers note his history of elaborate disguises and his expressed desire for a normal life. Jackson's death certificate, autopsy results, and Murray's manslaughter conviction provide official closure, but for devoted fans who can't accept the loss of their idol, the belief that he's still out there somewhere provides comfort in an otherwise unacceptable reality. Number 9, Jim Morrison, death by bathtub or elaborate escape. Did the Lizard King actually die in Paris? Jim Morrison's 1971 death at age 27 lacks an autopsy, fueling decades of speculation. The official story claims Morrison's girlfriend Pamela Corson found him dead in a bathtub in their Paris apartment, with heart failure as the cause. But without medical examination, questions multiplied. Journalist Sam Burnett claimed Morrison died of a heroin overdose in the bathroom of the Rock and Roll Circus Club, his body secretly moved to avoid scandal. Others suggest CIA involvement due to Morrison's father's high-ranking naval position and the singer's countercultural influence. The most persistent theory is that Morrison faked his death to escape fame, citing the closed casket funeral, lack of official verification, and the small number of people who actually saw his body. Fueling these theories were numerous sightings over the years and Morrison's own statements about faking his death. His grave in Paris's Père Lachaise cemetery became one of rock's most visited shrines, yet some fans believe it's empty. Adding to the mystery, Corson, one of the few witnesses, died of a heroin overdose 3 years later. Whether Morrison died of natural causes, drug overdose, or escaped to anonymity, the lack of definitive evidence ensures his mysterious end matches the enigmatic life of this poetic rock icon. Number 8. Kurt Cobain, suicide or murder in Seattle. Was the grunge icon's death staged to look like suicide? Kurt Cobain's 1994 death was officially ruled a suicide by shotgun wound, but skeptics point to troubling inconsistencies. Private investigator Tom Grant, hired by Courtney Love before Cobain's body was discovered, became the leading voice challenging the suicide verdict. Grant noted the high levels of heroin in Cobain's system would have incapacitated him before he could pull the trigger. The suicide note appeared to change handwriting in its final lines, which specifically mentioned Love and their daughter. Suspiciously, Love reportedly tried to use the note to practice forging Cobain's handwriting days before his death. The shotgun had no fingerprints, and Cobain's credit card was allegedly used after his estimated time of death. The most explosive theory implicates Love, who stood to gain financially from his death and reportedly feared he was planning to change his will. Documentaries like Soaked in Bleach present evidence that contradicts the official narrative, while Seattle police have repeatedly refused to reopen the case despite public pressure. Whether Cobain ended his own life amid depression and drug addiction or was the victim of foul play, his death at 27 cemented his place in rock mythology and left unanswered questions that continue to haunt fans and investigators almost 3 decades later. Number 7. Princess Diana, royal accident or royal murder plot. Was the most photographed woman in the world assassinated? Princess Diana's 1997 death in a Paris tunnel stunned the world, but many refused to accept it was simply a tragic accident. Conspiracy theories range from plausible to outlandish. Some believe the British intelligence services orchestrated the crash on orders from royal family members who disapproved of her relationship with Dodi Fayed and her independent influence. Evidence cited includes a mysterious white Fiat that allegedly caused the crash but was never located, a blinding flash seconds before the accident reported by witnesses, and the suspicious timing of security camera failures throughout the tunnel. Questions persist about why it took so long to get Diana to a hospital when one was nearby, and why she was embalmed so quickly, effectively preventing any accurate toxicology tests. Dodi's father, Mohammed Al Fayed, publicly maintained that Prince Philip ordered the assassination to prevent Diana from marrying a Muslim and potentially bearing his child. Diana herself fueled posthumous suspicion with her handwritten note to former butler Paul Burrell stating her fear that Charles was planning an accident to clear his path to remarriage. Multiple investigations, including a years-long British inquest, concluded the crash resulted from Henry Paul's intoxicated driving and paparazzi pursuit. But the conspiracy theories continue to thrive, reflecting both public adoration for Diana and distrust of official narratives surrounding the powerful. Number 6. Tupac Shakur, rap rivalry or elaborate disappearing act. Is Tupac still alive, watching his own legacy unfold? The 1996 Las Vegas drive-by shooting that supposedly killed the rap legend at 25 spawned countless conspiracy theories. Many fans refused to believe he died, pointing to his album, The Don Killuminati, the 7-Day Theory, released under the alias Machiavelli referencing Niccolò Machiavelli, who advocated faking one's death to fool enemies. Sightings place Tupac everywhere from Cuba to New Zealand. Others believe he was killed, but not by whom the public suspects. While Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight was driving the car when Tupac was shot, some theories suggest Knight orchestrated the murder over royalty disputes. Alternative theories implicate the FBI, who had monitored Tupac due to his revolutionary politics and family connections to the Black Panthers. The rivalry with Notorious B.I.G. and Bad Boy Records features prominently in many theories, but some believe both rappers' deaths were staged by government agencies targeting influential black voices. The cremation of Tupac's body within 24 hours and the lack of witnesses coming forward despite the public location fuel suspicions. Adding to the mystery, none of the 6 people in the car with Biggie when he was killed 6 months later have ever revealed what they saw. Whether Tupac is truly gone or living in anonymity, his prophetic lyrics about his own death ensure his mystique continues to grow with each passing year. Number 5. Marilyn Monroe, suicide, accident, or political assassination. Who silenced Hollywood's brightest star? Marilyn Monroe's 1962 death was ruled a probable suicide by barbiturate overdose, but suspicious circumstances have generated decades of alternative theories. The official timeline has significant gaps, with conflicting reports about when her body was discovered and when authorities were called. Her housekeeper's behavior that night raised eyebrows, as did the suspicious absence of a drinking glass in the room despite the pill ingestion. The most enduring theories involve her alleged affairs with President John F. Kennedy and his brother Robert, suggesting she was silenced to prevent revelation of state secrets or embarrassing personal details. Former Los Angeles Police Department Chief Darrell Gates claimed Monroe was murdered in a sophisticated operation related to her romantic entanglements with the Kennedys. Her phone records showed calls to the White House shortly before her death, and some witnesses reported seeing Robert Kennedy at her house that day, contradicting his alibi. Monroe's psychiatrist later claimed she was excited about her future the day before her death, making suicide seem unlikely. The missing diary, which allegedly contained sensitive political information, has never been found. Whether Monroe took her own life, died accidentally, or was eliminated to protect powerful men, the tragic end of America's most iconic sex symbol remains shrouded in mystery and intrigue that grows with each passing decade. Number 4. Elvis Presley, Death on the Throne or Ultimate Disappearing Act. Did the king of rock and roll actually leave the building? Elvis Presley's 1977 death on his bathroom floor officially resulted from cardiac arrhythmia, but the conspiracy engine started immediately. The most persistent theory claims Elvis faked his death to escape fame's pressures and the spotlight's constant glare. Believers point to inconsistencies in his death certificate, his middle name misspelled as Aaron instead of Aaron, though Elvis had actually started using Aaron himself. The unusually heavy 900-pound copper coffin raised questions about what exactly it contained. Alleged sightings have continued for decades, with multiple films and books documenting evidence that Elvis is alive. A photograph from his funeral supposedly shows beads of sweat on his face, impossible for a corpse, while some claim the body in the casket was actually a wax figure. The theory gained mainstream attention when a man named Jesse, Elvis's supposed twin who actually died at birth, claimed to be the real Elvis in disguise. Others believe Elvis died, but not as reported, perhaps from prescription drug abuse that the family covered up to protect his legacy. The fact that Elvis's full autopsy report remains sealed until 2027, 50 years after his death, only feeds speculation that the truth about the king's final moments contains secrets someone doesn't want revealed. Number 3. JFK Jr., pilot error or Clinton conspiracy. Was the son of a murdered president also targeted for elimination? John F. Kennedy Jr.'s 1999 plane crash off Martha's Vineyard was officially attributed to spatial disorientation while flying at night over water, but alternative explanations emerged quickly. The most prevalent conspiracy theory connects his death to his rumored political ambitions. Some believe JFK Jr. planned to run for the New York Senate seat that Hillary Clinton ultimately won, positioning himself as a potential presidential rival to the Clintons. According to this theory, powerful political interests eliminated him before he could follow in his father's footsteps. Proponents point to the quick cremation of all 3 victims, Kennedy, his wife Carolyn, and her sister Lauren, and the hasty disposal of the aircraft wreckage as evidence of a cover-up. Questions persist about why Kennedy would fly in hazardous conditions despite weather advisories, with some suggesting his plane was sabotaged or shot down. Other theorists note that Kennedy had been investigating his father's assassination through his magazine George, potentially uncovering dangerous information. Like his father's death, JFK Jr.'s tragic end cut short a promising future and left unanswered questions about whether America's closest equivalent to a royal family is somehow cursed or targeted. Number 2. Heath Ledger, accidental overdose or Joker's curse. Did playing the Joker literally kill Heath Ledger? The actor's 2008 death from prescription drug intoxication came during post-production of The Dark Knight, where his intense portrayal of the Joker would earn him a posthumous Oscar. This timing spawned theories about the psychological toll the role took on him. Ledger reportedly locked himself in a hotel room for weeks to develop the character, keeping a disturbing diary and barely sleeping. This led to the popular Joker's curse theory, suggesting the role drives actors to madness or death. Some darker theories suggest the Illuminati targeted Ledger, pointing to the Masonic imagery in his final film, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, and his rising status in Hollywood. Others question the circumstances of his death, noting inconsistencies in reports about who found his body and when emergency services were called. His friend Mary-Kate Olsen's reluctance to speak with investigators without immunity raised eyebrows. While medical evidence indicates an accidental combination of prescribed medications, the abruptness of Ledger's death at 28 at his career's peak, and his daughter Matilda's eerie resemblance to him as she grows older, ensures his legacy remains tinged with both tragedy and mystery that continues to captivate the public imagination. Number 1. Paul McCartney. Did the real Beatle die in 1966? Have you been listening to an imposter for over 50 years? The Paul is dead conspiracy theory might be the most elaborate celebrity death hoax ever conceived. According to believers, Paul McCartney died in a November 1966 car crash and was replaced by a look-alike named William Campbell, or sometimes Billy Shears, to prevent mass hysteria among Beatles fans. The band supposedly planted clues throughout their subsequent albums hinting at Paul's fate. On the Abbey Road cover, Paul walks barefoot like a corpse and out of step with the others. Play Revolution 9 backward and you supposedly hear "Turn Me On, Dead Man." The cover of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band features a funeral scene with Paul holding a black instrument while the others hold colorful ones. Even McCartney's left-handedness became suspect when certain album photos appeared to show him playing right-handed. Despite McCartney's very much alive presence over the decades, the theory persists, with believers suggesting voice and facial analysis proves the current Paul is not the original. Proponents point to supposed physical differences, a slightly taller fake Paul, and different shaped ears. While clearly debunked by reality, this conspiracy demonstrates how even the most outlandish theories can gain cultural permanence when attached to iconic figures whose art leaves room for interpretation and hidden meanings. Or does it prove something more sinister is truly at play? Are these celebrities really gone, or are we missing something hiding in plain sight? What secrets will be revealed next?